Hello class. In this video, I'll talk about lighting in Unity 3D and prefab, and later on we'll build this constructor game. Here I used third-person controller, which you can control your character with different animation cycle and play the game in the third-person view. Now let's move on to Unity 3D, and I'll go to File and create a new scene, and I'll save it as the second scene. By default, it provides us a main camera, a directional light. Okay, so now let's bring our model in. So go to Models folder, and let's drop our road system, the straight in here, and let's zero out its position. Okay, and also bring the barrel in here, zero out its position value, and bring it on top. Okay, so now you can see that our model don't have a texture. Okay, so we have the models folder, we have textures folder. So now we'll create a material and apply the texture to the model. Okay, so here right click and create a new material, and here we can see barrel M. Okay, and now it's diffuse map channel, and here we can apply the texture for it, and we'll drop the material to the barrel. And same thing for the road, so I'll right click and create a material and say road M, and here we'll get here the road system texture, and then bring the map onto it. Okay, so now we have the texture for our model. So now let's talk about the lighting. What if I want the game to be in the night, in the evening? Okay, so by default it provides us this directional light. We can either denate it and create a new light and change the color, or we can just modify the existing light. Okay, so we'll use the directional light, but instead of to make it as a sunlight, here I will change the color. I will choose a dark blue color to simulate the moonlight. Okay, and then the background. So right now, if you select the main camera, right now it shows the skybox. Okay, so we can change it to a solid color. This is a preview of it, and we can change the background color to pure black. Okay, this is how it looks. And if I play the game, okay, this is how it looks. Now let's bring the character in. So here we would like to use a third-person controller. The previous lesson we used a first-person controller in which you could only see the environment, you couldn't see who is the player. But now we'll use the third-person controller in which you can see the actor. Okay, go to the top menu, Assets, Import Package. We'll import characters. And here make sure everything is checked on and import. And it'll say API update, and we'll just update, go ahead. You'll have this standard assets folder editing, and you can go in there and you'll see characters, and you'll find the third-person controller, and we'll go to the prefabs, and here is it. So we'll use the third-person controller, and you can bring him in, and I'll make sure the character is above the ground. As I open the game, you can see that the character disappeared. Okay, because the character falling down. First, we'll have to apply physics to the ground so they can hold the character. Right now, if you select the third-person character, you can see we have ringed body that provides gravity for the character. And because our ground don't have physics, so it doesn't hold the character. So I'll select the ground plane, and we'll go add component, and we'll get a mesh collider. Alright, so now if you play, you can see that the character is on the ground. And we can use WASD to let the character run forward, backward, left, and right. Okay. However, as you can see, my view is just fixed at one location. It doesn't follow the character. Alright, that is because we have a main camera here. That created by default. Our view, the game view, is not on the main camera. Okay, so what we'll do is bring the main camera into the third-person controller folder, and we'll also bring this camera closer to our character. Alright, and bob the shoulder, and rotate a little bit. So now if I play, since the main camera is inside of the character control folder, you should follow the character. If I play, you can see that. Jump and run forward. So now we have our third-person controller work with the camera. Okay, and for the floor, we just applied the mesh collider. So how the mesh collider works is, it creates a collider for all faces, for all vertices. So that means if you have really complex model like the character, if you apply a mesh collider, you're going to create the collider for all the individual vertex. It'll double the size of your model. And your game will run slower if you have a super high polygon model. That's to say, if you have a complex model, for example, the barrel, and instead of creating a mesh collider that generate collider based on all the vertices, so what I'll do is I'll select this whole barrel and hit F key so I can lock my view on the barrel. And then I'll go to Add Component. And here, let me clean it. So I'll go to Physics. Okay, instead of use the mesh collider, we'll use box collider. So with box collider, you'll just create a simple box. Okay, same thing as the cube in Maya. It only have 8 vertices. Okay, so we can modify this box collider by go here. We can put our cursor here and change the size, and we can make it wider. Maybe not this one, this one. Okay, so just make it match with your model size. And now we should make it a little bit higher. Okay, and we can bring it down, and don't move it directly in this way because the box collider is attached to your model and you can't move it individually. You have to move it through here. If I go in this way, I can bring it down and make it higher. Okay, so this is for the body, and then we can add one more. So we can see box collider, and for the second one, we can bring, oops, we should go here. For the second one, we can bring it higher and longer, and narrow it down this way, and bring it along the z-axis. Here we go. So we created the first one. Okay, and we need another one. So instead of go add one more, we can just say copy component, and then click on here again and paste component as new. So it'll copy that one, it'll paste it here. We can just change this from the negative value to positive value, and it'll shift to another side. Okay, so now if I test play the game, it should block our character. So now this whole scene is a little bit too big, right? Our character is small. This is not the real scale. So maybe just use 0.2. 0.2 is too small. Maybe 0.4 XYZ for scale, and bring it this side. Okay, same thing for the barrel. Okay, we can scale it down by 0.4. And I'll bring it to the right side. Here. Make sure it's above the ground. Okay, so now if I play the game, there we go. Okay, so now next step is we'll add some lights to here, a light bubble. We're gonna go to tool menu, game object, and light. So we use the directional light to create a moonlight. So here we'll use point light. Okay, and I'll bring the point light into light bubble. And right now the point light is too strong, as you can see, that illuminate a big area. So I'll just bring down, so you can change by going here as well, the range. And for intensity, we can do a little bit higher. And right now the light is in white color, and we can give it orangish color. Okay, so we have this orange color and the blue color for the moonlight. Okay, maybe increase the intensity a little bit, and I'll make a duplication and bring it to other side. Here we go. Okay, let's see for this barrel, and we'll need maybe more of them to block this side of the road, and we'll need more of them on the other side of the road. So instead of go to here and bring the model back in here and apply texture and apply lights, instead of repeat the whole process, I'll create something called Prefab. Prefab is like a grouping everything together and save that group, and then you can use that group for as many times as you want. We'll select this barrel and hit F key again to lock my view on this barrel, and then go to game object, and we'll create an empty. So for this one, we'll say barrel prefab. Okay, so this is an empty object. It's like a folder. So we can select this barrel and the point lights and drag them and drop them into this folder. And then we can right click and create a prefab. And can rename this as barrel prefab. And as you can see, the prefab as I selected it has nothing in it. It's empty. So what I have to do is, well, just bring this whole folder into this folder, the prefab folder. Okay, so we can just drag and drop it into here. So now you can see the icon have been updated. And here's a preview of the model. So it has everything we have here: the barrel, the model, and the lights. So you can delete from the scene if you want, since we already saved it into the folder. So this is the prefab. If you want to use it, you can just drag from here and bring it into the scene. As you can see that the prefab, it saved the scale, saved the texture, and it saved all the lights we have created in the scene. Right? So by doing that, you can use it as many times as you want. And for the road, since we just create a collider for it, we also apply texture for it. So you can also create a prefab for the road. On another side of the street, I add a street light. Here we'll use the spotlight. Okay, this is how the spotlight looks like. We can bring it into the light bubble. Okay, this is the area illuminated, and we can bring this back in here and cover a bigger range, and we can increase the intensity 40, something like that, and we can also change the color of the light, like orangish color. This is spotlight. And here what we use is the point light, and for the moonlight is the direction light. Alright, so the only light we left is the arrow light. So basically the arrow light is the same as the arrow light in Maya, that is super soft and it can illuminate a specific area. Once you finish constructing the game, you can export the game and publish it. So I'll go to Tool Menu, File, and Build Setting, and make sure you check on the scene you would like to publish. So here you can see that by default you check on the first scene. However, our game is the second scene, right? So I'll remove selection and we'll add open scene, which is the current scene, the second scene. And then we'll choose the platform. So here we'll choose the PC Mac, since we use the Mac system. And we'll select the Mac OS. And go to player setting. You can put your company name here. Okay, I'll just say test. And product name, which is game name, I'll just say test build. And you can choose a game icon. So here I created the icon for the game, and you can load it here. And then go to here, the App Store options, and you can put your company name here. Alright, and then we can build and choose a location to build the game. So I'll just put it here, and I'll say test build, archive everything together, and it will export the game. Alright, now the game is published, and we can find it in the folder. And we can double click and open it. And I can choose a lower resolution and click on window, so it'll play in a window. Here we go. So this is the game we just constructed, the 2 barrel with a light, and also have a straight light on the one side. Okay, so if you get more time, you can use all of the assets I provided and construct the whole level. And you can make a lot of interaction in the game.